Okay, we'd like to open the August meeting of the Templeton Community Preservation Committee. Um, we have we still have a couple of seats to be filled. The rec committee has not voted a member to join us, nor have we heard from the housing authority. So we're still working on getting the full
We heard
board.
from the housing
Okay.
authority. They didn't appoint anybody.
Yeah, we heard nothing favorable.
Yep.
And then we're just on track. We still got a bunch of able-bodied folks here. And as such, it is a new fiscal year. We should reorganize the committee in terms of the chair, the vice chair, and the clerk. I am the chair presently. Carrie Novak is the vice chair, and Dennis Rich is the clerk. All three of us have indicated we're willing to do it again next year unless somebody else wants to do it.
I'll make a motion that we keep the current board of. Second.
Motion made and seconded to keep the current composition. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Very good. Thank you much.
Mr. Chairman.
yeah.
I should make a point. My appointment from the Historical Commission has expired. As the Historical Commission does not meet on a regular basis, we're waiting for a meeting to be scheduled so that can happen. I'm here as a placeholder. I will not be voting on any issues tonight.
Okay, so we'll mark you as an abstention on that vote then. Thank you very much. Mike, one other motion that we should entertain is the way we proceed with getting our invoices paid in a timely fashion is we get things together for the warrant, and the board has granted the chairperson the authority to sign on behalf of the board to approve vendor warrants. So I would therefore entertain a motion to continue that process.
So moved.
Second.
And seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, very good. Thank you much. We have minutes from our last meeting. We did not have a meeting in July, so we have the meeting minutes of June 12th, which you guys have probably had since about June 13th. So if you want a chance to re-review them, we can do that. I have reviewed them and found them to be very acceptable.
I make a motion to accept the last month's meetings.
A motion been made to accept the June meeting minutes.
Second.
And a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Abstain, I wasn't here.
Gary is also abstaining.
You made the motion last time, but I seconded it.
Okay. Right now, we will bring in our admin update portion.
Just want to go off of that. You can vote on minutes that you're not at for a meeting that you're not at, as long as you read them. We had this at how many planning board meetings that we were trying to get minutes approved. You don't have to be at for the future reference, I'm just for everybody. You don't have to be at the meeting. If it's a public hearing, like in conservation, and it's continued, then you'd have to abstain if you didn't review all the previous material. But minutes, if you they look accurate, you can vote on them in the future. My admin update is just that the CP1 report has been submitted by the town assessor, and the CP3 report is due September 15th, and I am working on this with Mr. Henshaw.
Thank you much. Yeah, she's actually drafted it, and I just have to get back to her to finalize it.
Drafted it, you just have to press the submit button on the webpage, I think.
Okay, any questions or comments for Jessica? Okay, you guys have all seen the Community Preservation Coalition dues notice. As you may remember, they are now on the fiscal year calendar time. So that's why we used to get these in January. Now we get them in July. But we've been on track for this for a couple of years now. The annual membership dues is $1,750. That's based upon the billings that the town does. When we were under $100,000 billing, that was 800 something bucks, but now we have a higher billing, we have a higher rate. Was there any discussion about this bill?
Do you recall what we paid last year?
I believe it's about the same.
No, but I can check on that for you, Dennis.
Is it-
I will check on that and I will get back
That's
to you.
all. Doesn't really.
Yeah, they are obviously a great resource for us. They are the keepers of all the information related to Community Preservation Act and all the project lists, and they do a good job of providing technical support when requested. With the caveat that they always say they are not the lawyers, you know, we have to go through the town for legal advice.
I'll make a motion that we pay the membership dues.
Okay, motion been made for $1,700 and seconded. Any other discussion? Yes,
Would Mr. Rich like to make an amendment that it comes from the admin budget? Isn't that where that comes?
yeah, it
from?
has to come from the admin. budget.
Okay, all right, very good. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, made and seconded, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions?
Same.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so now we're rolling into our finances and current projects. Do you want to just give us an overview of the Houghton Park thing?
One,
Or just we want to go through the
yeah,
list?
not ready, so just go down the list like you usually do.
Okay, so. As usual, we have the two sheets, one that shows all of the projects and the accounts, and then the other one showing all the recent activities, et cetera.
Yes, and the one that shows all of the projects and the detail is the one that I manage by hand. So I can confirm that it's accurate and up to date. The one on that's dated 8/11/2025 is the report that's pulled from Vadar, the accounting software with the town. And I did send this to you guys before the meeting and apologize profusely, even though it's not my fault. But this report was cumbersome to run this time. What happens usually is at the end of the fiscal year, within about a month or so, the accounting team will roll over balances remaining in the prior fiscal year into the current fiscal year. And with the transition of the town accountant and who is it and when is this people leaving and when is the new one coming in, that has not been done yet. So I had to run the same report 6 times and try to combine it for you. So I don't have a clear picture of your buckets. And so I just left what the report said. So you can kind of see, you know, John's going to talk about if you look at your buckets for community housing, you can see FY25, you guys were remaining with 20,000, and then FY26, it has a -40, but I think that's the 40 that's going in from what was.
Yeah, that's a
voted.
general accounting practice that's
Right.
very confusing. Why they don't show that as negative, you know, because so it should basically say $60,000 isn't that account?
I think so. I go with your logic, but also, I ran the report 6 times and I couldn't find a admin account for FY26. And unfortunately, I confirmed this with the assistant town accountant. So I don't know where that is yet. I'm working on that as well. So that's why that line's not there.
Yeah, so
It's-
this will catch up over time.
I
The
think
town
so.
is going through a little bit of a
Yeah.
flux with the accounting
Yeah.
and things like that. The money is still there. We just need, and luckily we have Jessica keeping her eye on this, but we're obviously not going to be spending any project money
Right.
for new projects, and all the funds that have a project associated with it already are fully allocated.
Yeah.
So that's not a
Yeah.
concern.
Yep.
Now, we oftentimes have to request the funds for your Vadar access. Does that happen at the beginning of the fiscal year?
Yeah, I'll check on that.
Okay, so, you know, I believe it's, I forget what it is, $600 or something
Yeah,
like that.
something short money. Yeah.
So that she can then run these reports and keep on top of things. So we won't dwell on the buckets thing. We can go right to the projects. And we'll just run right down there. We've already voted to close some of these out and they haven't disappeared yet. Like I thought we voted the MPC
I
one.
think that goes with the fact of the accounting transition.
Yeah.
That usually goes at the beginning of the fiscal year and that.
Yeah, so we're
And that hasn't
fiscal
been
year
closed.
lag. There are some new ones that we'll be closing some out pretty soon. Some
Yep.
are almost done.
Yep.
We're getting close.
Yep.
So going down the list, the conservation fund, it still has a balance of $8,000. We've had discussions about redoing the open space plan. We really should talk about that and with the select board as to whether they want to pursue steps with MRPC support to get additional funding that may be available through grants to update our open space and recreation plan. Maybe we'll want to put that as we'll work on it this month and have more discussion next month on what the steps could be.
Writing that down.
The Boynton Library project has had some expenditures related to the engineering services that did go out to bid. There were a couple of bids back. It's still not fully clear as to the status of that award because of the schedule of values wasn't provided and the timing of the subcontractors. So I did speak with the town administrator, and she is having a discussion with the engineering firm. So we'll get more report on that later.
Can I add to that? There were some invoices for that aren't reflected in that. I think it says 61,000 on your Vadar report. Again, with the accounting team, the invoices were never reclassed from when the library submitted them to the CPC accounts. So
Yeah,
that's
because there
about
was a little
7
challenge
grand.
where they went on two different warrants
Yeah.
and then it was paid out of one bucket and not the other. And so,
So I'm just gonna monitor that and wait and just when it's reflected, I'll let you know.
because the
Nothing.
library has another account
Yeah.
that is, a request that is also supporting this project.
Yep.
The Stone Bridge, I think we voted to close that out. All these zeros that continued there, we'll skip through. The drape restoration, Mr. Tangway had another little sewing and some other items to come, so that should be closing out soon, but another $200 will be spent. The cupola, I believe oh, wait, no.
You skipped one.
Yeah, tennis courts, I believe that should be completed.
It is completed. I have an email from the DPW director and former rec Candace, who said that it is complete and we're welcome to close it out. We're done and the sign's up, they look great, and we are done. The project can be closed out.
Okay, so as you can see, we have, according to this report, which is probably accurate, $1,848.52.
Yep.
And we have a note on our other sheet that's okay to close.
Yep.
Since we're there and since it's ready, I would entertain a motion to close out those $1,848.52 to be reverted back to the source of the funds, whether it was
Which
the
is undesignated. I checked.
undesignated reserve. Okay,
Yep.
thank you very much.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of closing out the resurfacing the tennis court pickleball, signify by saying aye. Opposed, abstention?
Stan,
Okay, thank you very much. Other projects, Dwelly Farm is ongoing. I drive by there a lot and there's a lot of, I've seen some activity there, so we'll expect to hear more for that next month.
Any talk about a new sign?
I have.
Okay.
Things.
Fine.
Yeah, and they had identified a source of a sign, but it's not there yet.
Right.
Okay, the next item listed is the rehab of Houghton Park. Do we want to talk about that now?
So, the grant writer administrator gave us the last invoice. It was 88,000. It spans both project accounts. It uses the remaining balance of the 68,000, and it also uses half from the 41,000. So not at this meeting, but once that, check gets through, I'll come back to you with a final number. You'll have around 22,000 under budget that you can vote to return back to the open space. And the reimbursement check will be around 80,000 to go into undesignated.
Great, thank you very much. Yeah, I know the children will be happy when that's open. Okay, moving ahead, Grange Hall lift. We did get the certificate of inspection.
Yep.
And I don't know if that means that all bills are paid, but we'll kind of hold off because it's wrapping up that other one as well.
Yep.
Everybody that drives by First Church and, wonders why it's turning black. That project is ongoing. We have paid the original $50,000 and I think we just had another big invoice. Let me look. over.
Not yet.
Forthcoming. Okay, so we have a check that was just cut for 20, that's the 50, but
Yep.
they talked about, they have a schedule as well. And we've asked them for, if they could even just give us a timing, just to what is the phasing? It's not a big outfit and they are there regularly, but we have the building committee chairperson, Mr. Hudala, has said he's trying to get us a kind of a better schedule of when things will be hopefully done. We're not gonna, it's just for our information. We're not, holding our feet to the fire because we know it's a process.
Right.
It's looking good so far. The energy management building, I did reach out to SSV when I saw them at a library meeting to ask whether they had any final invoice for that $801.
I can comment on that.
Okay.
Rich Curtis, the emergency management director, and I had a discussion about the balance. The money that was set aside was an estimate based on the previous town administrator and what he thought it would probably come in at. So that was what we had asked for. All the work is completed. The report has been issued. There's nothing further to come. So that 801 and change is an overage that can be returned to its account.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mike. With that being said, I would entertain a motion to close that account and revert the $801.25 back to its source.
So moved.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Second.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Thank you. Okay, then we're moving into the two projects, the Gilman Waite softball fields, 120,000, and the Houghton Park ball field, 125,000. That one, of course, so those projects have not yet begun, and the ball field was contingent upon receiving another park grant. Because they hadn't closed out the current park grant, they couldn't apply for another one, so they would wait for another round of funding to come up in order to be able to apply again, so that the project could go forward, because it can't go forward without that park money, because it was a continued base. Now, if it turns out there are no more funds for that, it could be brought back to town meeting floor to reauthorize or not, but that's in limbo. So is that correct? Your
It's
understanding?
contingent upon receiving that grant, and we have to close out the Houghton Park one first before we can apply for another one.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be doing that next month, or thereabouts. So that's in a nutshell all the projects we have outgoing. There's all these associated payments that have gone out as well. Does anybody have any questions or comments regarding current CPC finances and projects? Hearing none, we'll move on. We're all good with you?
You did great.
Okay.
Yep.
So now we have a time for some potential projects. Now, we're not gonna, Jessica's been giving a lot of inquiries of late. It's still early in the process. Obviously, we have the ability to present to the select board articles for either consideration at a special town meeting, which we always have in the fall, or the annual town meeting. It takes an application to be submitted, and we need to also learn when a warrant will be open and when it will be closed. I haven't heard anything.
We
It's
have not heard anything either.
early on all that
Yep.
process, and then the tax rate getting set and all that other fun stuff. So that being said, are there members here that have projects or discussions they'd like to bring up to start the conversation?
Yeah, I'd like to bring up one. I've been working with a person in town on potentially doing an expansion of the community garden up at the senior center. And we've been working through a budget. I'd like to have the Ag Commission be the town sponsor, or have the application come through the Ag Commission. I'll just need a vote from them on that, but I've been playing with some figures. I think we're gonna be around 7,000 or 8,000 max. That would include 10 beds, soil, electric fence, solar charger, storage shed for tools, really just sort of the basics. Hoping that the town maybe can help us with wood chips to make sure that we have kind of an accessible area. And I'm also going to apply to the community foundation, so it's possible we may not even need any town money. So I think what I need to know is what would be the deadline for application to be brought before the committee?
Yeah, that's
September meeting, you think?
no. I don't think it needs to be then. It wouldn't hurt to have it then.
Okay,
But we would know if we all of a sudden hear, I mean, the meeting is November at the earliest usually, or is there any discussion with the assessors about when they might be ready for a tax spring setting? Yeah, so I would say, we can't say at this point when it will be, but certainly if all of a sudden we had our September meeting and they say it has to happen, we can call it a special meeting.
okay. All right,
Certainly, it's nice to have good handle on all of we'll have to get all our like, buckets figured out, but for a small project that's worthy of consideration, we do have that ability to go forward and
and I have looked at the database, that's available through, words. Okay, so, there is precedent for doing community gardens in other states and using CPC funds. So I looked that up and it would come out of the open space bucket. Open space and recreation. And, she's got lots of plans on, putting it at the senior center, but, and not saying this is ours and this is yours, but hopefully having kind of an intergenerational use, helping them maximize the use of those beds. And then, where we're looking more at families, we would be looking at the use in the evenings and the weekends, so that, we would not interfere, with their use of the beds and so forth. What we're hoping is in September to have a booth at the next concert farmers market to just kind of see, judge community support for it. She's been mentioning it on her webpage and getting a lot of positive remarks and so
You might be
forth.
able to have a booth at the Wire Fest, which is a much larger.
Okay.
People.
And that's when,
It's, I don't know.
in the future.
I can get you the date.
Okay, that would be cool.
I want to say September,
Okay,
but I can get you the actual date.
all right, cool.
yeah, and just like with any project, it's great if you can capture, true data, true information, even anecdotes from the community
Yeah.
to help make the case.
Yep, that's what we've been doing, we've been collecting the comments that people have been making, and we've looked at a couple different sites, we even thought about, well, maybe we could partner with Phillipston because they have some beds, but it would be nice to keep this, obviously, we can't go for town money if we're gonna do it in Phillipston, but,
Well, actually, you could,
but,
but nobody would want to.
we would have to go probably to their CPA. I think if we were gonna do.
The CPA does not prohibit a town from spending money in another town.
Uh-huh,
Nobody ever does, but
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I much prefer, and we have the available land up there. It's nice and flat, good sun.
Is there a water source?
And well, they've been using a hose connected to the building.
That's the water source.
Yeah, so that's what we would continue to do. I think I threw in some money for hoses, so I got a rough budget. Really, it's gonna be below 7,000 or 8,000, low money, I think.
Yeah, well, personally, I don't think there would be much kickback from the community for something that's valuable is, allowing
Yeah.
people to have gardens and things like that. And I would, advise that you don't sell yourself short. I mean, if, for example, it turns out that there's a water bill associated with that,
Yeah,
that would be an ongoing expense. So you want to cover all of your capital items,
How about rain barrels?
yeah, that's a good idea. I did not, that was in our original.
Think we have rain barrels available through the town, don't we? They used to have them on display in.
it was at some point to where they are now or what, but
Board of Health. Rain barrels?
we'll certainly be looking into that. So
Okay.
anything else on that one, Carrie?
No, that's where we are so far on that. And then the funding through Community Foundation, I can't apply for that until September.
And if it turns out there is some grant source that looks for a match, the CPA money could be good for that.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping to maybe use both sources.
Does anybody else have a project they'd like to discuss or bring up?
The emergency management building, now that we have the engineering study and course of action laid out for us, I guess the next logical thing would be just to try to pursue working on it. So we would have to get a submission put together and put in. I'll work with Rich Curtis on that.
Yeah, and something that's such a large, that is a large scale project that we want, we want to make sure that we're doing as much legwork upfront as we can, so we don't need to push it out, just to make one deadline when we know that in 6 months there'll be another one. So, that sounds good. Anybody else? Now, as I mentioned, there has been some discussion around about other interesting interest and some applications have been sought. There's also been discussion about, the Heroes Park continuation of that, etc. So we'll wait till we hear a little bit more from the proponents before we bring that out, because we're not sure they're in the, the exploratory mode, but I would not be surprised at our September meeting that we had more to talk about. Does that seem fair to say?
Yep, we also had the Memorial Congregational Church in Baldwinville.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're seeking applications and,
Well, for application.
we will talk about it when we get some more information from them. Okay,
A lot of interest. A
yeah,
lot of people, I think a lot of people saw the first church, and so they started being like, oh, how'd you get this done? So it prompted a lot of questions.
okay, so that being said, we shall move on. The next item, item 8, is the chair/member comments. I have no comments to make. Does anybody have anything they'd like to bring up and discuss? Okay, well then I guess the next item would be, agreeing to meet next, the scheduled date would be September 11th, 2025, 7 p.m. Unless somebody has a reason not to have it, that's when we'll have it. That's good.
Make a motion, we
September
Adjourn.
11th.
A motion to adjourn, has that been seconded?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, thank you. This meeting is adjourned.